Hi, welcome back. Well, it's great to have in the studio today some people who have called themselves musicianaries. Is that the right word?
Yes.
That is it, yeah.
Yep. Eric and Monique, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So what is a musicianary? Help us out.
A musicianary is basically combining the words a musician and a missionary.
Okay.
So that's our main focus, just to be missionaries for God, just to speak about Him through our music.
Okay, so what does your average week or month look like, Eric?
Well, it's really a lot of time in the office, actually. Monique's doing a lot of the booking, planning for future tours, calling people, emailing people, if we're on tour, on the road. Yeah.
So you guys are doing this full-time now, aren't you? So full-time, concerts, touring, travelling?
Yeah, we started, 3 years ago, full-time?
Yeah, nearly 3 years ago. We started doing this full-time, which involves what Eric said, being in the office, but also being on the road around Australia. We still have to get to Northern Territory, but we've been to all the other states.
And you've been overseas as well, is that right?
Yeah, we've been able to do some touring in America as well as in Europe and New Zealand.
Is that exciting, or some people hate travel, some people love it?
We love travel.
It.
Yeah, we love travel. It's sort of, a lot of people say to us, oh man, it must be so cool seeing all those things. And a lot of the time we're actually driving past all the awesome sites because we have to get to a church to do a concert, so we miss out on a few things. But the days where we have off, it's just great.
Yeah. Now, you said you've been doing this for about 3 years. Can I take you back there about 3 years ago? You guys were having a real struggle with like lifestyle, materialism, all this sort of stuff. Can you explain what was going on there and what helped you make your decision to take the direction you have?
Well, that actually happened 6 years ago.
Oh, that was even longer
ago. Yeah, it was
ago.
even longer ago. We were kind of struggling because we were both working for God. I was a high school teacher at an Adventist school and Eric was doing youth pastoring. But I don't know if you've ever had that where you just feel like something's missing, where in your heart it doesn't feel like you're truly following in every single part of your life. And we felt that way, and so we just started to pray about it, pray where God wanted us to go, and He ended up leading us and taking a whole year off and just literally giving a year to God.
Wow.
Which led us to volunteer in Ukraine for 6 months and then to go to a Bible college called Arise in America.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a real spiritual revival for me. I was listening to a lot of sermons on faith, and there was one guy that just went out and made all these amazing decisions based on faith, and I thought, man, am I doing that? Am I living by faith, or am I just going with the status quo? So,
It's often struck me actually that, we look at Jesus and His disciples, touring around Galilee, doing this itinerant thing, and you think, how does that even relate to how we live our lives today? And honestly, the only thing that I've found any connection with is a touring band. Okay. That's, you know what I mean? It is sort of like Jesus and His disciples moving around, living by faith. Does it strengthen your faith? Touring?
Oh, definitely. It's definitely been a progressive thing though. Like in order for us 6 years ago, in order for us to go to Arise, we didn't have any money at all. We were in Ukraine. We had $200 in our bank account and we needed quite a bit to not only get to America, but also pay for the tuition and live there, doing the college. So we were praying about it. We let people know, this is what we're thinking about doing. And over the next few months, slowly through maybe $200, $500, sometimes a couple thousand, we got the exact amount of money that we needed to go to this Bible college.
Wow.
And yet when we got there, it was only about 1 month before the end of the course, and we were down to $55. And even though we had seen everything that God had given to us in the past, and God does provide, He does look after everything that we need. We were met with this decision at church this one morning. All that year, this year we had given to God, we said whatever money we have in our wallet, we would give to Him. No matter how little, no matter how much. Because, God promises I believe it's in Malachi, where if we, give Him our offerings and our tithes, that He will open the storehouses of heaven. And God says, try me in this. And we thought, okay, we'll do that. We'll try this. But when we got down to our last $55, we were in church and the offering was called and I opened my purse and there were $50 in there.
Just happened to be that.
I had left the $5 at home.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, it should be the 5. Why is the 50
I know,
there?
it's like,
Oh, okay. The wrong note was in there.
The wrong note. And so I looked at Eric and I said, what are we going to do? And he's like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to give this $50.
But that was the commitment you'd made.
Yeah, it was the commitment.
Yeah.
And so it was literally like this horror story film moment where everything went slow and there was this doom music, you know, and there was all these nerves, and we just like looked at each other and we had a prayer. And as soon as we finished praying, we just knew we had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We had to give this money. And so the offering plate came by, you know, we gave the $50 and instantly we felt at peace.
Wow.
Then later that night, we were doing this community concert, this community evangelism thing. I was one of the greeters at the door. This guy I had never seen walked through, shook his hand. When he went away, I looked down, there was two $50 notes in my hand.
Oh, wow.
Double.
And I raced,
Double your money.
I raced after him, I'm like, you forgot something. And he's like, no, I don't know you, but God impressed on me to give you this.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa.
Incredible.
No way.
Wow.
But then, like later on that night, one of our teachers came and gave us an envelope saying, this person got impressed to give you this money, but they didn't want you to know who it was. And it was another two $50 notes.
There you go. Wow.
Like,
that's incredible.
amazing.
So amazing.
Yeah. So Eric, is living by faith just about money? I mean, you're touring now. Obviously, money's a part of it. But how do you find your faith is affected?
Just did as a deeper level. We're writing songs and we're touring. We're hearing so many amazing stories of how people were blessed by the concert or the music, and just having to make that step of faith and to plan out a whole tour where you don't know how it will work out. You just have like 10, 12 dates, and like, we don't charge fees. It's all faith driven. So, a lot of the churches will give like a love offering or something like that. But
a donation sometimes.
Yeah. So
CD sales.
Just the whole process of having to step out over and over again, increases your faith.
Really
it does for me anyway.
Yeah.
But there'll be times like that story where you're like, no, we can't do it. This is silly. Why are we doing this? You know, and no matter how many times God has worked in the past, it's just you doubt, you question.
And I notice one of the songs on your new album here, Everlasting, is Doubting Thomas.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Now, let's just talk about your music for a little while. Your first album had some fairly sort of heavy theological, Laodicea, the sanctuary, all sort of theological stuff. Would you describe this album as being similar or different?
In some ways it's similar, in other ways it's different. It's a little bit more personal with the doubting, and the first song on the album is called Temporary, and it's about why do I love this world so much, and like, why can't I give it up? If heaven's my home, why don't I live like that?
Wow.
Yeah, so I would say it's very personal.
In the first part of the album, and then as we go to the second part of the album, it has more of those heavy biblical things. Like,
so it's still quite strongly biblical.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, just because we're out of time, but just as we do finish, let's just have a quick listen just to one of your clips there. This is Orion.
Lofty Mount Zion, city of light, praise Him forever. No end in sight. Beauty no words can describe. Beauty no words can describe. Heaven, the gates open wide. Heaven is shining so bright.
Hey, thanks guys for that. Where can we get hold of this album? Through your website, ericandmonique.com, is that right?
ericandmonique.com. It's on all the digital platforms, well, most.
Yeah.
iTunes, Google Play. Our website where you buy it off their digital version as well. So
Yeah. Oh, that's excellent. Hey, thanks so much for being here, and may God continue to bless your ministry, and thanks for your inspirational faith stories. It's incredible stuff.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you straight after the break.